I have a question for the men. Do you guys still want to get married? Like, is that still a thing? Or is it just pressured because of how society is? Or is it something that you guys generally want? I'm just curious on your opinion on it.
Here's a few things, right? I believe men are romantic at heart. I believe that you still want to get married. I just think the problem is that marriage is not beneficial for men, especially nowadays. And men see very few women qualify for to become wives. Okay? Women are just there's not wife like material. And then let's put it aside, also the court system are is a risk for them. But I've always believed that men still love the idea of marriage. Men think the logicalness of it, where marriage is a benefit for having children, for having a family, because it's that connection, right? That bond. But I've always said that the, the, the importance of marriage is having children, to show children that the parents have this strong bond, right? And you're raising your kids into a pretty stable household, right? Parents are married, parents have a strong bond, is a good role model, good representation for children. So I always believe that if you are going to take on the risk of marriage, it is for children. But now women are one pushing marriage until later in their life, so that having children is not that easy. And again, women are not, in general, women aren't really marriage material. And again, let's put it, court system is against men, so there's really very little benefits for men, even if they want marriage, for men being in marriages nowadays. And again, men are already doing husband um, activities or acts in boyfriend and girlfriend stage. Women are showing that they're barely wife material in girlfriend stages. So that's the situation.
It's not beneficial to men.
If marriage wasn't beneficial to men, the top businessmen and elite men of the world who have money would not be married. So to sit here and say that marriage is not beneficial for men, there's cons and pros for men being married. There's cons and pros for women being married. Period, point blank. At the end of the day, just like those businesses that man goes out and ventures on, there's risk to it. Okay. And there's benefits to it. Period, point blank. So that said, in normal instances, when man has everything, woman has nothing, they get married, she takes all of it. I agree. To say that I'm not advocating for men, I number one, if you ever watch any of my content, I advocate for men, specifically black men, 24/7. However, I'm gonna call bullshit when I see it. That man has been with that. I just don't understand. The same risk to getting married to that woman is the same risk of giving children to that woman. Is the same. He has businesses tied together with that woman, assets and properties and things tied to that woman, but you won't get married. Like, that doesn't make sense. If she was such a risk, you wouldn't do those things with her. If you were so concerned about your money, your assets, you wouldn't tie business together with her. You wouldn't have children with her. You would just be lifetime partners. So my point of all of this is not the love aspect, the religious aspect. It's the legal and business aspect of what marriage brings if they're going to have all those properties, assets, and businesses tied together to maintain the ultimate legal document that you need between two people in order to secure your assets with said person is marriage. Not even your children can contest marriage. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that something were to happen to either one of them, that man gets in a car wreck or whatever, they're not gonna call her. They're not gonna call him. They're gonna call his mama, his daddy, his next of kin, and they will be in control of what happens to that man or vice versa, that woman. These are the things that people don't think about. Y'all just so concerned about a woman taking half. But if she's been there since day one, at the end of the day, despite what y'all think, that woman deserves half, bruh. If she been there since day one, whether she contributed directly to the business, to your money, she's been there since day one, man, that woman deserve half, man. It is what it is. She give her cut and call it a day. It would be no different than if you had a business partner that was there for day one. Cut him his half, call it a day. Y'all keep getting caught up in marriage, like, bruh. We a lot of them dudes that's worried about taking woman taking half, but I guess what, that woman wouldn't be able to take half if you took them kids, which, but most men ain't gonna take them kids. Why? So to diminish that aspect of it and say she don't deserve, like women don't deserve money or contributions from the marriage because of that, if y'all were to get this, divorced, come on now.
I'm in the camp of marriage is not beneficial to men, at least in today's day and age. Right now, he said that why do wealthy men get married? There's two reasons, right? One, it's status, right? It shows other people that you're stable, that you're a family man. It's a trustworthy image. Okay. Now, two, and this is the only thing where this is here. How my beliefs on things, what marriage is. It is not beneficial to men, but if you want to, and you're going to have children with a woman, you need to get married with that woman. Why? Because this is a show of, you know what? You are showing a woman that I'm committed to you. I'm going to be there for you. That I'm going to take on this risk of marriage, right? To have children with you. This is the thing where marriage is the show men use to show commitment to a woman. But only show commitment because you're getting something in return. You're getting children. She's giving you her body. She's giving you the chance to be a father. And that's where I promote. That if she's going to give you kids, you should marry her. You should show her the commitment that, okay, because you're giving me kids, I want to show you that I'm committed to you. That is my belief, okay? Like I said, marriage is not beneficial to men, but I'm on the side where if you're going to get kids from her, if you want to give her kids, okay? If you're going to get kids from her, if you want to impregnate her, you should marry her. You should show her the commitment. And it's not just to her, right? It's for your children to see that that's the strong bond between you and your wife, okay? You and your partner. That you are creating this bond, that bond of commitment. And you're being a role model to your children. That me and your mother, we are committed. This is a strong bond that we want you to also, create when you're older. Right? And that's how I see things. So unless you're dating a woman that don't want kids, unless you're dating a woman that you're not going to have kids with, then don't marry her. And this goes with, like, let's say if you date a woman that's above 40. Like I was saying, this is why I kind of think older women don't qualify for marriage. They qualify for boyfriend, girlfriend at best, or situationships, in my opinion.
My ex-husband pays me $1,700 a month in child support and pays my car insurance and my phone bill. And that makes a lot of people mad. So let's talk about it while I give you an apartment tour. I hear a lot of men on this app say that if their baby mother put them on child support, then that's all they're going to do. That as long as the kid is taken care of, they don't really care how their baby mama lives. But here's the thing. Kids cost money, and not just monetarily. My daughter's father wants my daughter in a great neighborhood and in a good school. So rent in those places are obviously going to be more expensive. My daughter's father will always help me with rent if I need it. A car is a necessity where I live as well. I have to take my daughter back and forth to school, so my ex has no problem paying my car insurance. My daughter likes to call her dad whenever she wants, so he has no problem paying my phone bill. And if my daughter asks me for something and I can't get it for her, my ex sends me the money for it. He never says, "Ain't that what child support is for?" Y'all want y'all baby mothers to struggle so bad, and it's kind of weird. But what do y'all...
This might be controversial, but I don't blame women. I don't blame women on anything that a man allows to happen to himself. So if this man, her baby father, her ex-husband or whatever, gives her money willingly of his own choice, whatever. If she wants to take advantage or take whatever he gives him, all the power to her. I would not blame her. I would not call her gold digger. I would not chastise her for taking advantage of situation that the man allows. Okay? Here's the thing, right? I've been there and I've done that. Where, my baby mom, I paid bills, I paid nursery, I did all this stuff. But at the end of the day, personally, I felt used and I felt like, what am I getting out of this? Because look at this. I'm not the only one that should be paying for my children. That's the thing, okay? And I didn't even get to see my kids. So that's the issue too, right? This is the thing where some men will decide how their life is run. And they should. You should be the boss of your life. So I didn't get to see my kids, but I had to pay just as much or more than what she's doing. Okay? I paid for bills, paid for any kind of medical, paid for nursery, anything. I had to pay for it. And yet I couldn't even get to see my kids when I want to see my kids. She said kids cost money. Yes, but it doesn't cost just the man's money. And it shouldn't cost primarily the man's money. And the thing at the end of the day is that you are an adult as well. You should be taking care of yourself. And it's your kid. So while you're taking care of yourself, well, your kid is being taken care of. Now, like I said, if the man wants that, fine. If he's paying for rent, he's paying for everything, that's his decision. A lot of times, women don't understand that it should be the man's choice how he spends his money. Okay? Again, it's a two-parent thing. He shouldn't be the primary earner, even though he's not in the relationship anymore. A lot of times, women don't understand that it's a balance, right? If he feels, if personally he feels that it's a benefit, he feels that he's fine with it, then that's him. Women have to understand everyone's different, okay? Especially majority of men are not going to feel that way. Plus, majority of men might not make that kind of money. I'm average. So I didn't make that much money to, one, spend it mostly on her and my kids, and then not see my kids. I could have done it. I could have spent that if I had an equal time or even more time with my kids. I just felt like it was so one way. That's my personal thing. So this is a thing where, again, like I said, I don't blame the women, but at the end of the day, I put my onus on the men. If that man wanted to do that, fine. There's no issue, there's no problem. But a lot of men, they don't want to do that. Because at the end of the day, they feel used and abused. And it's not equal treatment, right? Sometimes you don't get to see your kids, or sometimes you're dictated in when and how you can see your kids, or sometimes you are dictated in how your kids are raised and you don't have a say in. Those are kind of situations, right? So it's a look back. You gotta look at the whole situation. Because again, I've been there and I've paid for all this stuff, but yet I just felt like I didn't even get to see my kids. It was a imbalance, okay? And I didn't feel like it's worth it. A lot of men, that's probably the key, right? A lot of men, you got to feel like it's worth it, right? He probably felt like it's worth it. So, yeah. But the thing is that not every man, not even the majority of men will feel like that way. When you have rare men, well, I think it's ridiculous that she should have kept that man, in my opinion, because he sounds like a rare man. You're not going to find that type of man again easily. But whatever.
Walked by a black woman and just kept looking forward in the past year.
See, this is sad, right? It's an Asian man looking in, right? Looking in from the outside. It's sad because you hear this all the time, how black women say there's no good black men out there. And I've always said, and I've said it constantly in my stuff, right? There are good men, because personally in my life, most of my friends are black. They are decent, respectful men that make decent, okay living. And yet women say there's no good black men out there. I love the drug dealers. I love the scammers. I love the criminals and all that shit, right? But it's like, oh, there's no good men out there. The ones that are gay or locked up. And this is why, right? Your rhetoric, your attitude, the stance you take, your feminism, your ideology, your mindset has turned off good, decent black men. This is the thing where you don't prioritize men, right? You prioritize flings, you prioritize hookups, you prioritize choosing the terrible men. And now you have turned off good men. Now they don't care, right? And then you expect these men, you preach, what about the black community? What about this? What about that? This is the thing where you don't hold, this is the thing, why? You don't hold the women accountable, right? For choosing terrible men, for choosing to give children to terrible men and not requiring marriages, right? To not look past the height, the looks, the charm, and look for the character of a man, right? You don't do that. But then when men, good men, right? What it seems like, decent, good men who make decent living, right, are now looking elsewhere. Now you're trying to tell them, you should think about the black community. See, this is where you hold men that these men did not cross the path of being criminals. They try to be respectful, try to be upstanding citizens, and focus on work, focus on building their career and building themselves so they can provide for their family. That's who you chose to try to hold accountable, hold as some beacon to restore the black community. And yet you don't hold the women accountable, the ones who choose men, who allow men to enter their body and life, the ones who choose to give children to terrible men. You don't hold those women accountable. You don't hold women accountable, but you choose to hold men that are upstanding, lawful, respectful, and who focus on business. That's who you choose to hold accountable. That's the thing where these men, they have given up. They're tired of that shit. The men in general always have the weight of the world on their shoulders. So this is why they're tired of it. They don't want to deal with it. Okay? Women, decent women should be asking these men out, right? But you know what? They're not attractive. They're not charming. They're not conventionally desired. So they ignore these men. And then when those women who ignore these men are now older with children and all that stuff, complain about these men leaving for other women when you didn't want them to begin with. So now you complain about them, right? Just like how women complain about the passport bros, who I think are usually these type of men, right? They work hard, they make decent living, but they're tired of the BS. So you complain about those men now that you're traumatized, now that you've been through multiple men, right? You have children and all that stuff. Now you complain about these men leaving and insulting these men, okay, when you didn't check for them to begin with. But because they are now valuable, right? They're desired because of their financial status. Now you complain. This is the thing where it's sad. It's really sad that I see good black men being ignored, rejected, and just, abused emotionally. This is why I said it, right? I always feel like black men do have it good. I'm not saying, of course, the Tyrones are doing well, right? They're having sex with multiple women, right? I'm not talking about those men, right? Those black men. I'm talking about the good, decent black men, right? Have it hard because they're ignored, they are rejected, they are insulted and put down on. And then I see that these men are good, morally sound men, and they should be desired, but they're not. So, yeah, it's crazy.